At 8:14 in the morning, 12 Ukrainian drones raced toward one of the most heavily defended air bases in Crimea. Russia threw electronic warfare at them, then radar, then anti-air guns, then hypersonic missiles, and none of it worked the way it was supposed to. Because these drones weren't flying by radio, they weren't using GPS, they were flying on something so simple, so absurd, and so hard to stop, that by the time Russian forces understood what was happening, one of their most valuable aircraft was already seconds from destruction. This was not just another drone strike. This was a message. The battlefield has changed. For years, modern air defense has been built around one idea. If you can jam the signal, you can kill the threat. Break the radio link, block the satellite feed, confuse the navigation, make the drone blind, dumb, and useless. That logic worked until it didn't. Because on this mission, the connection between operator and drone didn't travel through the air. It traveled through glass, a fiber optic thread, thinner than a human hair, spooled out at insane speed from a motherboat rocking in the Black Sea. No radio signal to intercept, no GPS dependence to block, no electromagnetic signature to smother. To Russian electronic warfare, these things were practically ghosts. And what happened next looked less like a normal strike, and more like a direct attack on the entire idea of modern air defense. Within minutes, surveillance radars were burning. A fire control system was hit. A Panzer had to switch from confident hunter to desperate survivor. And on the runway, a MiG-31, one of Russia's fastest and most expensive interceptors, was suddenly in a race it could not win. All because a swarm of low-flying drones slipped through the cracks of a defense network built to stop much bigger threats. The mission began far from the target. Out on the Black Sea, 3 Sea Baby naval drones had already traveled hundreds of kilometers, weaving through danger just to reach one exact launch point, about 30 kilometers off the coast of Crimea. That was the firing line. From there, the aerial drones launched one after another, compressed air hissing as each one shot into the sky. But the most important thing wasn't the launch rail, it was the reel. Mounted on the boat was a high-speed spool feeding out kilometers of fiber optic cable as the drones accelerated away. Each drone was connected physically, not electronically. The operators guiding them sat far away in a secure bunker in Kyiv, watching crisp live video and steering in real time. It was elegant, it was fragile, and it was terrifyingly effective, because the entire Russian defense system was waiting for the wrong kind of attack. At first, the drones stayed low over the water, fast enough to close distance quickly, but low enough to blend into clutter. Then, Russian early warning radar began to notice something strange. Small contacts moving through the noise. That was the moment Russia did what every military would do. It hit the jammer. The Krasuka electronic warfare system powered up, flooding the environment with interference designed to crush signals, disrupt guidance, and knock hostile drones out of the sky. The expectation was simple. The swarm would lose control and fall apart. But the dots on the radar didn't vanish. They kept moving, straight ahead, unaffected. Because you can drown radio waves in noise. You can scramble satellites. You can blind receivers. But you cannot jam light traveling inside a physical strand of glass. That one detail turned millions of dollars of electronic warfare into noise with no effect. So Russia escalated. Now it was time for hard kills. Long-range systems struggled because the drones were too small and too low. That left point defense. The Panzer opened fire, cannons throwing a wall of metal into the air, and suddenly, the mission stopped looking clean. One drone was hit, another tried to turn too sharply and lost its fiber line. Gone. 2 operators in Kyiv watched their screens die in seconds. That's the part that makes this operation so insane. The same technology that made the drones immune to jamming also made them incredibly vulnerable. They were dragging long, delicate lines behind them at high speed. One bad maneuver, one sharp angle, one collision with terrain, wires, trees, even birds, and the link could snap. So this wasn't just an attack, it was a balancing act. The surviving drones crossed the coastline and entered a different kind of danger. Now, the sky over Crimea was saturated with interference. Defense systems searching every sector, guns scanning for movement. For ordinary cruise missiles or radio-guided drones, this environment would be a nightmare. But the operators didn't need satellites. They used the camera feed like a driver navigating city streets, roads, trees, fuel stations, landmarks. Visual navigation under pressure, at speed, with almost no margin for error. Then the first big target appeared, an early warning radar. Huge, expensive, critical. One drone came in low and fast. No dramatic pause, no warning, just impact. The warhead punched into the radar and turned a strategic asset into burning wreckage. In one strike, the defenders lost eyes they desperately needed. And that changed everything. Because air defense is strongest when all its parts speak to each other. Search radar, tracking radar, missile batteries, gun systems, command nodes. Break enough links in that chain, and even advanced systems start operating alone. Confused, reactive, and exposed. That's exactly what started to happen. Another radar, hidden under camouflage nets, became the next target. To the naked eye, it was concealed. To a thermal view, it was glowing. That's the cruel irony of camouflage in the age of sensors. You can hide shape, but hiding heat is much harder. The drone dove through the netting and detonated. Another key element of the defense network was torn open. By now, Russian crews were no longer calmly executing doctrine. They were improvising under pressure. A Panzer crew managed to recover fast enough to shoot down more incoming drones. Cannons tore two out of the sky. Then a missile fired at another target trying to slip through smoke and chaos. For a moment, it looked like the defense had stabilized. But the surviving drone did something devastatingly simple. It got too close. Missile systems need distance. Inside a certain range, their advantage collapses. Now, the engagement was brutal and personal. Guns, reaction time, line of sight. The Panzer switched to cannons and killed yet another drone. Screen gone. Signal lost. At that point, the operation should have been over. Most of the swarm was gone. The route to the runway was covered. And the final target was still out there. But one drone remained, just one. And then, through the smoke and confusion, the real prize appeared. A MiG-31, parked in the open. This is where the story becomes almost cinematic. Because while the last drone rushed toward the runway, the pilot of the MiG was fighting his own desperate countdown. Startup procedures, engine spool up, systems alignment, hydraulics, movement. A high-performance interceptor is not a car. You don't just turn the key and go. Every second mattered, and every second favored the drone. The aircraft began to move. Too late. The final drone climbed slightly, adjusted its angle, and committed. From the operator's screen, the jet filled the frame. Gray metal, runway, cockpit, then impact. The explosion didn't begin like a Hollywood fireball. It began where it mattered, at the structure, near the fuel, where damage compounds instantly. Then everything went up. A massive interceptor worth tens of millions vanished into flame. For the operators in Kiev, it was the perfect ending to an almost impossible strike, a tactical success, a psychological blow, a demonstration that expensive systems can still be outplayed by speed, improvisation, and an unexpected idea. But the story wasn't over. Because every trick has a weakness, and the weakness of this mission was floating on the sea. The drones had done their job. The radars were wrecked. The airbase had been hit. A MiG-31 was burning. But 30 kilometers offshore, the mother boat was still there. Still moving with the waves, still carrying the remains of the launch system, still connected in the worst possible way to the entire operation. And somewhere above the battlefield, a Russian helicopter pilot started asking the one question nobody had answered yet. If the drones came from here, what launched them? Abrupt ending. The Ka-52 found the boat by following logic, not signals. No radar miracle, no genius algorithm. Just a pilot tracing the path backward. Then came the missile. One warning flashed on the operator's screen, then static. And just like that, the hunters became evidence. Because winning the strike was one thing, losing the launch platform was another. If the wreckage was recovered, the technology wouldn't stay secret for long. The method would be studied, copied, countered. So in Kyiv, the celebration stopped immediately. Monitors off, gear packed, location abandoned. They had humiliated one of the most layered air defense environments on Earth. But in modern warfare, even a masterpiece only stays a masterpiece for a few minutes. Then everyone learns.